What's up, y'all? It's Marcellus Wiley, that dude. Let's talk about what y'all talking about, which is President Donald Trump threatening to block the stadium deal in D.C. unless they went back to their old name, the Redskins. So go from Commanders to Redskins. Ain't that crazy? Wow. Did I just say that? For real. So that's in play right now. Conversations about it. ESPN, Stephen A. Smith, First Take, took a stab at it as well. We're going to talk about this. And we're going to go back in time because I remember when this story first occurred and they first made the name change to the Commanders. And there was a lot of controversy even with that, including within the Native American community. So a little deep dive on this, have a little fun, and then see what's really at play. All that said, make sure you guys support this channel by subscribing and support the community by going to projecttransition.org right there. Yes, you can do that and leave your email. Be a volunteer, part of our global giving community. We applaud you for that. If you want to do more, you leave a donation or you can become a gym member, a giver every month, like my man James Washington. And we rewarded him and thanked him with this book autograph sent to his doorstep. We could do the same for you as well. Become a giver every month, gym members, for our skills camps, our mentorship, our resources that we give to these kids and exposures and experiences, and continue to allow us to go and grow. So make sure you go to projecttransition.org. Now, let's get into this little dive into what they're talking about with President Donald Trump. And they got some issues with him, obviously, trying to block a stadium deal. Some say it's more to it than that. Let's hear.
Well, I think it's the president being petty. I think it's him being evasive. Because the reality is that no matter how good he wants people to believe things are with the big, beautiful bill and other things that have been transpiring, tariff wars, the border issues or whatever, if you're on the right, obviously you're happy with a lot of things that are going on. And there's nothing to take credit away from that. I'll leave the political evaluations to other people. But nevertheless, there are millions upon millions of people in the United States of America that are not necessarily happy with some of the things that he's doing. So what does he do? He caters to his base. Because when you look at the Redskins name, obviously it's something that needed to be changed. And by him bringing that issue up, we all know from a political landscape, it's much ado about nothing. It's just him catering to his base to make sure that he serves to appease them in some way, to distract them from other issues, including the Epstein files, by the way, because a lot of people associated with the MAGA right want those files released. And you even have Republican representatives on the Hill wanting those files released, wanting to see for themselves because they're not buying what the administration is saying when they say that there's absolutely nothing there. But I think it's important to...
Did you catch all of that? Okay. So this is the distraction method by Donald Trump to get people off the Epstein conversation and get them on to something else. Well, let's just say you're comparing apples to oranges or feathers to rocks, right? People are not going to stop asking about Epstein if you're trying to talk about a football stadium, right? That's not going to happen. So I wonder if that's really the play, or more so, you got to go back to when this first occurred and it went from the Redskins to Commanders, how there was internally within the Native American community opposition to that move. Just like Stephen A. pointed out, there are MAGA members. There are people on the right, far right, loving Trump, but at the same time, like, dog, we need to see these Epstein files, right? So we can know how much we love you. And there's obviously been pictures, and I think Epstein's been to his wedding, one of the weddings, second wedding. Point being, they had a relationship. They had a friendship. You take it from there. I mean, I know some killers too. I know some bad people. I know some people locked in. Let's stop. Everybody knows somebody that ain't on the right side of the law or the right side of doing things. Doesn't excuse it at all, but it also doesn't put guilt onto you because of your association. Let's just go there. Now, Stephen A. was rolling right there. People were like, okay, Stephen A. speaking the right way in terms of what side of history you're on. And then this happened.
I've been an advocate, a strong advocate. I've always wanted a stadium in the state of Maryland that the Ravens and the Washington Commanders could share with a lot of employment emanating from D.C., but still be able to, because, again, you wouldn't have to worry about stuff like this. That's just my personal opinion. That was the idea that I threw out last year, that the Ravens and the Commanders should actually share stadium. You got a minimum of 17 to 18 weeks where you got games there, plus playoff games and all of that stuff, plus events in the offseason. And you know what? And it's the state of Maryland that you have to deal with instead of this kind of nonsense. But they didn't.
Yeah, they didn't. They didn't, and they wouldn't. Boy, let me just tell you what people were saying about that. Let me just give it to you. Like, I miss things all the time too. You know, all the time as well. I'm tone deaf sometimes. I don't know things. No one can know all things. I didn't know Skip and Stephen A. were talking again. I thought they were still on beef terms. So it's not that. But if you know a Ravens fan and you know a Commanders fan, you know two different people because they don't want to hear it. We're not sharing. What the funk? Both teams deserve their own respective stadiums. Somewhere we play one another. Who's the home team? Most ridiculous take ever. Please don't speak on this subject again. Legit one of the dumbest statements I ever heard. Ha, ha, ha. Hot take man at it again for clicks. Yeah. How about F no to that? They don't mix oil and water. They close to each other, but they far from each other in terms of how they want to get down. That's all I want to say about that. So now let's get back to the president. Become a gym member with Project Transition. As a giver every month, small gifts have a big impact in creating real change. Not only will you transform lives, you'll also win and unlock once-in-a-lifetime experiences. Join me, Marcellus Wiley, in making a real impact through Project Transition, a global giving community dedicated to uplifting underserved youth with mentorship, education, and access to real opportunities. Your donation doesn't just enter you to win unforgettable prizes and exclusive experiences with myself and other gym members. It fuels our mission to empower the next generation of leaders, dreamers, and game changers. From after-school programs, life skills camps, and career development, every dollar helps unlock potential where it's needed most and where every person makes a world of difference. Give back, win big, be the difference, be greater than your greatest excuse. Support Project Transition today. Become a gym member and help turn obstacles into opportunities. And let's get back to this Native American issue of, was it a large population of Native Americans who opposed it? Like, some people opposed it, right? Well, yeah. There were Native Americans who supported the Washington Redskins name. They actually opposed the move, the change. They wanted to stay the Redskins, although they were not a majority, and the topic has long been divisive within Native communities. So some were talking about the pride in the representation. They saw the name as a tribute rather than a slur. And black people, we can kind of attest to that, trying to appropriate or trying to actually make it a term of endearment when you talk about, hey, they called us with the ER. Now we calling each other the A, and we think about it different. Changing the connotation, changing the meaning, even though it's the same word, okay? Tradition and legacy, many supporters, both native and non-native, had grown up rooting for the Redskins. They're like, it didn't bother us then, and why does it bother us now? Right? We ain't got to pander and do all that stuff. Skepticism of outside aggravate. Damn, I'm about to go to there. Outsider advocacy. Goodness, I can't read. I ain't cutting that out either. A segment of Native Americans distrusted the motives of non-natives pushing for this name change. You know, hey, who's over here really rooting for this name change after all these years? I wonder what's really going on. They felt that some of the activism came from white liberals speaking for them rather than with them, and resented being used as a political football. That's a poetic way of saying it. Saying, y'all just trying to make us do this. And check this out. A 2004 Annenberg poll and a 2016 Washington Post poll found that roughly 90% of Native Americans surveyed were not offended by the name Redskins. However, those polls were later criticized, of course, for questionable methodology, of course. But here's my point. A lot of Native Americans are like, what you doing? Why are you changing it? So when you want to really destroy Donald Trump in this moment, you got to understand he's not pulling this out of thin air. Because I remember when I was covering this topic, when it was occurring in the name change, and I did the same kind of research, and I was like, a lot of people, and we actually had a Native American on the show. Yeah, I remember that. And he was like, I don't want the name to change. It is what it is. So beat it up. Do you think they should change the name? If somebody's offended from a group, then we should move it and change it for all? Or should we just really try to represent and say, hey, if we lasted this long and lived this long with the name as Redskins, why are you trying to be a Commander? Beat it up in the comments. Let me know what you think about that whole situation. Okay? because I think it's kind of fascinating. Donald Trump does not have the power to actually stop this stadium from being built, they said. So this is a lot about nothing. But at the same time, it's a conversation, so it's certainly something. Just to give you all the real. Now, you know what we doing this show, boy. We flow, boy. But before we flow, boy, we check on your dough, boy. So we check on what's going on with your money. So you got to go check out my team, Monitor Debt Resolution. That's your financial wellness solution. Tell me if you got credit card debt, you got some student loan debt, medical debt, personal debt, whatever kind of debt you got. Man, I've been trying to go to them Commander games, but then I was trying to go to them Ravens games. They need to be at one stadium debt. Whatever it is, make sure you hit up my team. Check my link in my description for my financial wellness prescription. Yeah, buddy. It is a service that can help you guys. Hit the QR code, hit the website, pt.monitor.debt.com, that can help everybody out there. Trust me, my boy Jonathan, married, father of 3, he's debt-free next year. This year, debt. Call that number. Debt-free. What's the number? 866-204-0071. That's 866-204-0071. Call up, Monitor Debt Resolution. That's your financial wellness solution. Now, you know what we do on this show, boy. A rap about the president. Duck, Wiley. We flow, boy. I love this beat. I'm a gym member. Yes, I love this beat. I love this beat. Let's go get this thing. Skip to my Lou, what it do? I'm talking about who? Talking about you and the crew. Redskins or else. That's what we talking about. Trump said that. Let's go, man. Trump talking wild like he on the turf. Said Redskins are no deal, bruh. What's the worth? Trying to strong arm DC like it's the apprentice. But the mayor and the team said, man, that's senseless. Can't veto no field, no end zone deal, just cause you missing them throwback fields. Come on, man, Commanders got plans, moving with grace, but you're crying about the name like it's taking your place. Migga, that's his chant, talking like he coaching the league. He can't. DC said, nah, ain't playing your game. You can't block no stadium with nostalgia and shame. Nah, you ain't Roger Goodell. You ain't no squad. You don't own it. Just a sideline heckler with a Twitter facade. Trying to bring back names that the culture erased while the league's trying to move at a grown-up pace. RFK, project worth 3.7 B, but Trump said rename or you ain't getting me. City council laughing, he got no say. They building end zones while he throwing cliches. Yo, this ain't a casino, it's public land, and you ain't blocking shit with a half-baked plan. Commander, stay strong, ain't going back. So take that nostalgia and catch a fade like a sack. Ooh, so don't let Trump call plays from the booth. He just made the league moved on with the truth. You want throwbacks? Cop a jersey, relax, but keep your hands off the city contract. Get back. Shoot. This is Marcellus Wiley with an urgent message for anyone struggling with over $10,000 in credit card debt. Here's what you need to do right now. Visit pt.monitordebt.com. They've helped thousands reduce what they owe by dealing directly with creditors, cutting balances by 30, 40, even 50%. This isn't a loan. This is a proven debt settlement program where you make affordable monthly deposits while they do the heavy lifting. Many clients become debt-free in 24 to 48 months. Don't wait another day drowning in interest. Call 866-204-0071 or visit pt.monitordebt.com. Your financial freedom is waiting. It's just one phone call away. It's been a decade plus that I knew that this day was going to come. Oh, this is not hyperbole here. Because I think the birds. Time to hydrate. Hydration's the situation, so.